This is what Moneyball is really about. It is presented as a movie about baseball stats, undervalued players, and poor organization attempting to compete against wealthier teams, but underneath the spreadsheets, trades, and winning streaks, Moneyball is a ghost story. Billy Beane is haunted by the athlete he was supposed to become. Before he was the general manager of the Oakland Athletics, he was a teenage phenomenon. Scouts looked at Billy and saw everything they had been trained to desire. He could run, he could throw, he could hit, he had power. He had the kind of body that made experienced baseball men lean forward in their chairs. They visited his home and placed two futures in front of him. One future led to Stanford, and it was uncertain, patient, and unfinished. The other led directly into professional baseball. It came with a contract, a uniform, and the assurance that Billy Beane was not merely talented, he was special. Think about how powerful that word is when you are young. Special. It sounds like a blessing, but sometimes it's a cage with velvet walls. Once people call you special, ordinary failure begins to feel like public humiliation. You are no longer allowed to struggle privately. Every mistake becomes confusing because mistakes are not supposed to happen to somebody like you. Billy signs with the New York Mets. Everybody loves that. He enters professional baseball carrying everyone's expectations on his back, but talent does not bloom on command. The young man who looked unstoppable in scouts' imagination began to struggle beneath real stadium lights. His swing tightened. His confidence fractures. Baseball, once a place of freedom, becomes a courtroom. Every at-bat is another trial. Every strikeout is another witness. Every failure presents evidence against the person he was told he would become. And that is where sports identity becomes dangerous. There is a difference between saying, I failed, and saying, I am a failure. There's a difference between saying I played badly, right, and saying I am nothing when I play badly. One statement describes an event, the other becomes an identity. And Billy Beane does not merely lose baseball games, he begins losing the version of himself that other people created for him. That is a particular kind of grief. He is mourning someone who never existed. The superstar, the future legend, the Hall of Famer, the can't-miss prospect who somehow missed. Years later, Billy is no longer wearing the uniform. He's sitting in the front office of the Oakland Athletics trying to build a winning team with a fraction of the money available to organizations like the New York Mets or the Dodgers. But the old wound is still there. You can see it in the way he moves. He can't sit while watching games. He paces hallways. He drives through at night and he turns on the radio and hears commentators questioning his intelligence and leaves the criticism playing. He could turn it off, but he doesn't. But wounded people often return to the voices that wounded them. Criticism becomes strangely familiar. It hurts, but it also feels like home. Like people like Billy are competing against the scouts who once misjudged him. He's still trying to prove that he understands the game, even if baseball failed to understand him.